Dizon. I'm a car collector and an ecologist at the same time.
My name is Jose Cortez. I'm a car enthusiast.
When my father was still around, this was in the 90s, 1990 to be exact. I saw a magazine where 66 or 67 GTO. And then when I saw that magazine, I showed my dad that I wanted this car. But since my dad was converting his V8s, American cars, to diesel, he told me, "Son, that's a gas guzzler," sabi niya. "Don't get that," sabi niya. So I put the magazine, car magazine, in a shelf. It never really umalis sa isip ko eh. So it was in my room, and then I kept looking at it until I saved enough, because I've been working for my dad then in the early 90s. I bought my first running car, which is a 1970 Camaro. And then that's where it all started. It's a passion. It's a passion because I've seen guys, kuya, diba, who start with 1 or 2 cars and they never really pursue it. So it's ano talaga, nasa pusong mo dapat. I don't want to be called a hoarder. So collecting cars for me is like what Kuya said, they've been, how do you say that, Kuya? Chop-chop sila. So,
No, we're trying to save this rolling art. Only because of back in the 90s, these cars have been chopped for scrap metal, and a lot of them have been destroyed. So, and Erwin tries to save as much as he could. They really are an art form. You don't see this kind of styles in this new eras now. Most of them are all plastic.
a good muscle car dapat, for me, ano siya, rugged. It's not shiny. Medyo may konting alikabok. More on fast pace. Yan ang muscle car for me. Outdoor life for me. I see these cars as not as an owner, but as a steward. I want to be a good steward to these cars where people can see not just the material value of these cars, but the deeper value of it. It's like history. The value is there. And the reaction of people, sometimes, they think yung akala nila you're mayabang. But the car itself is a little bit mayabang. Not the driver, but the car, with the sound of the engine, with the color, the rarity. So some people see it negatively. It's more, I see more people who appreciate it. Uy, okay yung kotse ah. Madalang na lang yan. And then they approach you, they ask questions. I see that more than the negative side. Ano sila eh? Excited sila, masaya sila, and then of course we let them in. So I believe it's really for them, these future generations and the millennials. They hardly see this like in the streets.
There are certain parts available in a local market, but majority of the structural parts of the car is imported. If they are broken parts like front suspensions and everything, The shock absorber you might be able to find, but when it comes to the lower A-arm, you might have to put them here. Now, if it's a rare car with a rare piece that you can't find, then sometimes it's just a remanufacturing of the bushings. Yeah, maintenance is important for these cars. It's not like cars nowadays where you need a laptop. You know, all you need is three things: fuel, fire, and of course lubrication. These things are all well accessible in these old cars. Unlike the new cars now, when it comes to fire, it's about electronics. Fuel also delivered through electronics. This is a start. If a guy can buy or maintain these cars, it's a good schooling for him. There's a lot of factors involved in selecting a car for a first timer. You have to choose the style you want. You have to learn the car. And you know, the worst case scenario, if you have you buy a cheap rust bucket and thinking, yeah, I can restore this, and then finding out parts are hard or not at all, you lose interest. Research on what style you want, if the parts are available, and who can work those parts, car for you. If you're a gearhead, you do it yourself, great. That's a good one. That's one for you. But finding a shop, a reliable shop, and it's all about costing, how much you're willing to spend for restoring a car.